Until then, we'll take care of things here. Tomorrow's gonna be the performance of our lives. Crying like a couple old big babies and laughing our tails off inside. You'll forgive me if I have trouble trusting that loose tongue of yours. Psh, I'm not stupid. I know this is important. Not even Amy will suspect a thing.
Amy.
Something to pass the time. If there's anything you want, Michelle, just tell me. Now, or you can have a servant pass a message on to me.
I can't think of... Actually, wait. I can think of one thing. I would like a chess set.
Alright, I'll have one made.
I would rather have yours, Didier. Would that be possible?
Are you sure you want that beaten old thing?
Yes, I want that one.
Alright then. I'll include it in the first delivery. I'll send you something too, Michelle. Anything you want, just tell me.
In that case, I would like some art tools. I'm nowhere near as much of an artist as you are, Georgius, so you don't have to be anything special.
Gotcha. So, some canvas and, how about some charcoal? And when you're back, I want to see what you've made with it, okay?
Okay.
I know this is already hard enough on you, Michelle, but I need to ask you to do something for me. Avoid making contact with anyone who doesn't already know about you.
So, I can't talk to anybody but the servants.
Put simply, yes. Tomorrow the world will consider you dead. So we cannot have people finding out you are actually alive. Especially, Father. Please, do this for me.
I've been doing that for 2 years already. I've long since lost interest in interacting with anybody, so you don't need to ask me to keep to myself.
Right.
Does anyone else know I am alive?
Yes, Mother knows. In fact, this was her idea.
It was.
She loves you, Michelle. She really does. Mom just, is having a little trouble facing the truth.
Sounds like my mom.
Mm-hmm. So even though she's not here to see you off, I guarantee you she doesn't want to see you dead. She wants to have you in her life again. I expect Mother will be writing you. So please, take the time to write her back. She's a troubled woman, but her love for you is true and unwavering. Will you do that? Just a quick little, hey, got your letter, doing great will suffice.
I love Georgies.
He's dumb, but he's well-intentioned.
Yeah. Alright.
Just so you know, it kills me indeed that we can't stand up to Dad. But as long as he lives, his word is God in this house.
I understand that, yes.
Well, you never know. He could be gone quicker than you expect. Like tomorrow, maybe. Week from now and bam, he's dead as Dee's social life. Wow.
Wow.
Is there not an ounce of respect in your body? Oh, give me a break. I'm upset. He's gone way too far. And once he's dragged his arse off to the great beyond, anything goes. Surprise! Michelle's alive!
Yeah, I suppose.
Until then, we'll take care of things here. Tomorrow's gonna be the performance of our lives. Crying like a couple old big babies and laughing our tails off inside. You'll forgive me if I have trouble trusting that loose tongue of yours. Psh, I'm not stupid. I know this is important. Not even Amy will suspect a thing.
Amy.
Oh, that was actually. I thought you
Yeah.
were just uttering her name yourself in anger.
Oh, I was doing both.
Yeah, not even she can know. It's going to crush her, I'm sure, but but the less people who know, the better.
When Georgie said her name, my whole body went shamefully cold. It had been 1.5 years since the hell she'd put me through. Wow! So he's 17?
Yeah, he should be about that age.
Oh wait, no. No, it started with him saying it's 16.
Okay. He's probably going. Yeah, 16.
I don't know. But every last detail of it remained carved into my mind and body. There was no way she would even be slightly sad about my death. She might act it, but she would most certainly be elated by the news. It seemed Georgie's had still yet to see what lay beneath that woman's mask.
I know you two are close.
Huh?
Are you worried about how this might affect her?
What?
She cared for you for about 6 months, didn't she? When you wouldn't let the servants in. From what I hear, you got real close to dying in there. You wouldn't even eat unless she was there.
Who the hell told you that?
What? If that's not what happened? Did something happen between you two, Michelle?
Amy didn't do a damn. Never mind. I can't tell them. I can't put what I went through into words. It'll only worsen my especially not in front of my brothers. Georgius, how are things between you and Amy?
You still letting what happened 2 years ago get to you? Well, I mean, at the time, things were a total disaster. I'm all excited about getting myself a pretty little wife, only to find out she's rocking the boat with someone else.
Oh my god!
I cried for weeks.
In face.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Deep down, though, she ain't actually a bad girl. She's young, and kids make mistakes. After it all came out, she turned over a new leaf. She started doting on me something serious, and well, it's hard not to let one little mistake like that go when she's trying so hard to make up with me. The age excuse doesn't work for D, though. For about 1 year, things were really rough between us. I didn't even want to look at him. But at the end of the day, we're family. We can get past anything. Besides, because you let the cat out of the bag, that gave me something to hold over D. All things considered, I'm not complaining.
So, you would say you're happy then, Georgies?
Sherwood? Yep. Believe it or not, I'm kind of head over heels for her. Hard not to like a girl like Amy. Oh boy.
Oh, I see.
Do you really feel that bad about 2 years ago?
So she's still keeping up the good girl facade around Georgie's and Didier. No one else knows. She's actually a sadistic, cackling demon. There's nothing less trustworthy in the world than a woman who's always smiling.
Well, that explains a lot. That's
Huh?
because remember, Giselle was all about, let me always smile so no one will see my pain, and now Amy was always smiling, so it made him extra wary of women who are always smiling.
Oh! God, this is so good. But if Georgie thinks he's happy, I can't take that away from him.
Michelle,
Oh, right, yes. I do feel guilty about the way I lost control of my emotions and took it out on you.
it happens to everyone. In fact, you could stand to do a little more shouting and fussing. Then you could.
Because I have undeveloped social skills.
You heard that? You've got one hell of a nasty streak, huh, Dee?
I'm glad to hear you're still on good terms. It wasn't my intention to pit the two of you against each other.
We know. The blame falls on my shoulders. I want you to know something, Michelle. Though your transformation was too much for mother and father to accept. With enough time, everything will go back to the way it was before, just like it did for myself and Georgie's. None of this is your fault. It was all unfortunate timing. Got a little bit of a jack, too. Try not to forget I am a knight, Georgie's.
In time.
In time. Speaking of which, we don't have much left. I'm going to tell the coachman to set off, okay?
Didier,
Yes.
tell me the truth. Will the three of us ever meet again?
Why would you ever ask that? Of course we will. Not a chance I'm letting this be our last family get-together.
One last question, then.
Yes.
Am I your brother?
Well, I mean, look at you.
Oh god, I love you.
Don't look like much of a sister to me. So yeah, I'd say you are.
I see. So long, then.
Farewell. And may good health bless you until we meet again. Until then, Michelle.
Farewell. Before seeing me off for good, they both gave me strong, firm hugs. Didier first, and then Georgie's. The warmth I felt in their arms, in my family's arms, slowly spread through my chilled body, which made it that much more difficult to pop. The wheels of the carriage rattled against the wet, stone-paved road. I stuck my head out the window as they shrunk into the distance, standing there in the rain until they were completely out of view. A tightness filled my breast. Every glimmer of hope I had for my new life was matched by an equal degree of darkness and uncertainty. Would I ever make it back home? And if I did, would people still call me a demon child? Having to write mother was another uncomfortable weight on my soul. The thought of having to play a girl for her made me sick. Georgie's had acted like it would be nothing, but it wasn't that easy. It was more than mere pretend. Didier had said that, with time, things would change. But how could he be certain that those changes would be for the better? The wooden wheels turned, carrying me away to that cursed mansion. Whoa! What is this?
I don't know. I see chains.
Yeah. The next thing I know, I'm sinking into a vast void. Darkness cuffs my hands and legs, restricting my movement. Images of the past I had kept buried away for so long stream past me. This isn't how I wanted it to happen. Not coming from my own mouth, but being laid bare for all to see without my consent. That wasn't how I wanted her to find out about my secret, about my shameful history.
I warned you, my dear. I told you you didn't want to reclaim your old self. If you had simply let it be, you wouldn't be here now, forced to relive it all. Now, do you understand? The tale I spun behind the fourth door was as much for you as it was for her. There, you were a young man with a sad fate. But you met a wonderful woman, fell in love with her, and then died in the arms of tragedy. The sequence of events is not far from the truth, but I was able to turn it into something enchanting and beautiful. I got rid of all the nasty little details, like that Amy, she was the nastiest. Your ugliness, your body troubles, all of that. Doesn't it seem a bit unfair, Michelle? You tore down the walls around Giselle's heart, around her past, but you wanted to keep your own nice and safe and hidden away. She has every right to be upset. You were afraid she wouldn't accept you, were you not? And that's precisely what happened. But can you honestly blame her? The truth you kept hiding away is not something most would be able to accept. The prince who came riding in to save her.
Silence!
Wasn't actually a man.
Please, enough. I've seen enough. Let it stay buried, please. Just stop this. I don't want to see it. I don't want anything to do with it.
What a sad little creature you are, my dear. Not a woman in this world would have any interest in you now. Excuse me. 2 lesbians are kind of interested in him.
Yeah.
You've surrounded yourself with layer upon layer of walls. Cover yourself with this patchwork, barely held together quilt of masks, and it's the only thing keeping you together. You're the frailest one of all, the weakest. And it's about time you accepted that and stopped trying to fight it.
I am not weak.
Oh, is that so? Let's proceed with the tale then, shall we?
No!
Face the one you hate most in this world. Yourself. Your weakness. Your ugliness. Face it and despair.
Ah! Don't! Again. Once again, my own desires, my own wishes, are completely irrelevant. The past sprawls out before me once more, and the witch is exactly right. I despise the man I was then, teeming with vain hope and foolish dreams. I would rather pretend that part of me never existed, but I have no choice. I'm dragged back into the life I once lived, my pleas for mercy fading into dark nothingness. Ooh. I couldn't remember how long it had been since the capital had disappeared into the distance, but I had been on the road for some time. We'd long since left paved roads behind. The carriage rocked back and forth as it proceeded down the rough dirt path. For hours I stared through the window as unfamiliar scenery flowed past. Eventually a fog settled the area, making it difficult to discern night from day. We made our way through dark, dense woods, and beyond them, like the world fading into view after a dream, a mansion appeared before. All the windows were either shuttered or boarded, encasing the house in darkness. In a way, it felt like all I had done was move from one prison to a much larger. Briefly, I thought they had possibly been sealed to keep anyone from seeing me inside, but my coming here was a very recent development. More likely, then, the house had been in this condition when it was initially purchased. Quite the piece of property my father had found himself with. I wonder if he had been swindled by its previous owner. It was gloomy. It was a gloomy, uninviting place, but it didn't appear to be in disrepair. The coachman left my luggage outside the door, gave me an empty farewell, then went on his way. I was entirely alone. I spent some time just staring out at the forest, but naturally, there was nothing of interest to be found there. So I quietly turned around and opened the door to the... It's certainly dark. I could barely even see my own feet. Briefly, I considered trying to unshutter a window or two, but ended up deciding against it. The less inviting the place looked, the easier it would be for me to avoid contact with the outside world, as Didier had recommended. Standing there in the darkness for several minutes, my eyes gradually grew accustomed to the lack of light. While it was hardly ideal, it was sufficient to take a look around the house. The inside didn't seem to have received the same level of care as the outside. Everything was dusty and the air was many years stale. But I wasn't in a cleaning mood. So I dug through my luggage for a bundle of candles, lighting one with a stained glass window. Examining the large room I found myself in, I came across a stained glass window depicting an angel. The archangel, after whom had been named, looked solemnly down at me. Quite the joke. 2 columns of evenly spaced pews ran the length of the room, all facing the multicolored window. I set the candlestick on a podium of some sort, which is when I realized. This is a chapel. A flat length of silver, bent in the middle, was mounted to the pulpit's face?
Mm-hmm.
When I saw it, I knew exactly what it used to be. A cross. The pews weren't facing the stained glass, but the cross. Why, though? It felt as though the mansion had been built up around the chapel rather than the opposite. I was perplexed as to why anyone would do that. But of course, there was no one around to state my curiosity. Taking the candlestick back in hand, I made my way beyond the pulpit. There sat a metal door. I pressed one hand against the cool surface, and my heart... It was abnormally cold. Though the door itself seemed perfectly normal, an inexplicable anxiety spread through me. It was a very unusual sensation. My instincts told me I should stay far, far away, and my heart told me it was my duty to see what lay beyond. What am I going to find back there? After a few moments' hesitation, I decided to act in opposition to my instincts. I was looking at a long spiral staircase. The wooden stairs stretched so high I couldn't tell where they ended. Observation tower, perhaps? As if being pushed forward by some inhuman force, I mounted the staircase. By the 3rd or 4th loop, soft light began peeking into the tower through regularly spaced rectangular openings in the stone walls. Through one such window, I gazed outside. And far off in the distance, beyond the seemingly endless ocean of trees, I saw a small village. Nowhere I'm ever going to go. So many stairs. It had been some time since I had exerted myself this much. I hardly had any opportunity locked away in my chambers. With every step I took, I could hear my joints creaking and my muscles screaming. I was long since out of breath, only staying upright with the help of the wall.
And someone just donated $25.
Thank you!
Yes, thank you to whoever did that. That means that we have reached our goal for Extra Life. Yay! So that's going to be $310, I believe, that is going to go to the Dayton Children's Hospital in Ohio. So thank you to whoever that was.
Oh, thank you so
we
much.
really appreciate it.
This is pitiful. Damn it.
I wouldn't be doing any better, Michelle.
Yeah, I'd probably stop after the second loop.
Yeah.
But turning back never occurred to me. I had to keep climbing, had to make it to the top. And it was that feeling of necessity that pushed my exhausted body upward. By the time I reached the top, I was practically gasping for air. Sweat streamed down my forehead. I wiped it aside, turning my gaze to another door. But unlike the first, what on earth? A tangle of rope covered the surface. Layers upon layers of it, making its intent abundantly clear. Nothing shall come in or out. It didn't look like it had been put there recently either, as much of it was rotted through. Out of curiosity, I grabbed at the coil and yanked. The rope snapped in several places, chunks falling limply to the floor. That wasn't enough to allow the door to open, though. People only sealed doors like this for a reason. Largely because they didn't want, or couldn't allow, others to see what hid behind them. Like what they did to me. For a few moments, I felt as though I was looking down at myself from outside my body. If it hadn't been this man, with someone else standing there, would they have turned back at the sight of the sealed-off door, acting as though nothing was there? Or would they have done as I did? I ground my teeth, a mix of annoyance and bitterness rushing through me. But I did not hesitate. I held the flame of the candle up the wall of rope, careful not to set the whole thing ablaze. Slowly, carefully burning through them one by one. It was repetitive and time-consuming, but I persisted, wiping away sheets of sweat before it streamed into my eyes. The sun was well on its way down before I finally managed to expose the door.
And with that, we will end the stream right here. Once again, thank you to everyone who has been following us throughout this LP. It's always so great to have people here. Thank you again to everyone who donated. And we shall see you. Let's see.
I have a feeling we're reaching the end of the game.
I think so too. Yeah. Mont Blanc, do you guys have like about an estimate about how much longer there is to the game? If you're still about.
There's still a ways to go.
About 5 hours? Oh! Hello, Sage! Thank you!
5 hours?
That's a good
not
chunk.
that long. That's about 2.5 sessions?
Yeah, if we go for about an hour and a half, yeah, we should probably finish up in 3 more sessions.
Oh.
Alrighty. Well then, we shall do that. A question for you. Will you want to start the prequel right afterwards, or will you want a break before we start that?
I'd probably want to take a bit of a break.
Alrighty. Then yeah. That'll be it. Alright, well, have a good night, guys, or morning, or day, wherever you are.
Yeah. Ah, then the person who was in the bathroom that whole time was actually...
Everyone else besides Peko was in the dining hall after the party started, right?
I see. So there's no way anyone else could have locked themselves in the bathroom except Peko.
I guess that would be true. You locked yourself in the what? Commode?
Commode, I guess.
Commode, yeah.
Commode? You locked yourself in the commode? You should have said so earlier.
There's no way she'd actually say that. Gosh, you are so insensitive.
It's a bathroom.
If she locked herself in the bathroom for that long, there's no doubt. It's shit.
I love you guys so much.
There's no way she'd admit it. There's no way she'd admit she was taking a shit.
네.